The difference between antique, vintage and retro. The word antique comes from ancient French. It simply means old. Antiques are classified as being at least 100 years old. They are known for their craftsmanship. Many were created before factories became widespread. Many antique items are no longer produced. They are rare and personal to their owners. Antique furniture includes many styles across nations. It comes in styles like Victorian English or Rococo French. Furniture from the Federalist era is especially popular. It's known for its high quality and detail. Cars can be a feature for antique collectors as well. These include the first models produced before the 1930s. Antique jewelry collections include Art Deco styles. Antique glassware is as dazzling as a jewelry. Craftsmen designed glass and kitchenware by hand. There are also auctions dedicated to antique clockwork. The word vintage originally described wine. Now it refers to items between 20 to 99 years old. A vintage item isn't as old as an antique, but it is still a bit aged and used. The vintage category includes fashion memorabilia. They are more likely to be handcrafted and higher quality. Many vintage items are associated with celebrities. One example is Hollywood jewelry, worn by Marilyn Monroe. Comic books also count as vintage items. Editions like the first Superman comic date to 1938. Retro comes from French and means to move backward. The word was first used in 1972. It encompasses colorful new technology and fashion. It includes items up until the 1990s. Any item at least 20 years old can count as retro. Many people confuse vintage with retro. The two collide with the items from the 1960s, but vintage has more muted colors. It's associated with black and white photographs. Vintage clothing includes more pastel colors. The 1960s was a revolutionary time for fashion. People turned to bright colors and androgynous styles. In London, the first boutiques began to open. They were small shops marketed to ordinary people. This diverged them from high-fashion department stores. Color television also became popularized. In the 1960s, a host of new movie posters and series appeared as a result. Star Wars blew up in popularity after its debut in 1977. Many people are now collecting retro action figures. In 2015, a 1978 figure of Luke Skywalker sold for $25,000. The emergence of video games sets retro apart from vintage. The Atari 2600 was one of the first popular home consoles. Today, collectors are seeking out original consoles. You can also call something retro if it's new. It should recreate vibrant styles like mod or maximalism. People find ways to rehash old styles. This helps them feel connected to that past.